feel like your team is coming into today? You feel like there's a lot of excitement, anticipation for this game one?
Yeah, a ton of excitement, with our team, around the city, the organization. And they've been locked in all week, so we'll see how it translates onto the floor when the lights are on.
Mike Jameson, ESPN 1320. When you get out there, we talked about this yesterday, the timeout thing, just how much you think your team is ready to step on the floor opening minute and really hit the gas?
I think they're ready, but the one thing we have to understand, it's a long basketball game. And Golden State's not gonna win in the first minute, we're not gonna win in the first minute, vice versa. So we just have to make sure we stick to the game plan, we play as hard as we can for as close to 48 minutes as possible and see what happens.
Tony Harvey, NBC Sports Radio. Coach Brown, step back about 12 months, since you've been hired, and you pretty much, planted in the community. Just to editorialize it, there's about 2.5, 3 million people live in this region, about 60 to 70 different languages, and just want to get your thoughts, about living here and feeling this fever, breaking that curse, anything that you can provide.
No, it's been fantastic, and I said this before. I had a couple of buddies that lived up here when I was living in the Bay. Ro and I had friends that lived up here in Sacramento, and this before we even got the job, and they talk about how special this place is, how fun it is, and all that other stuff. And after getting the job and moving up here, even before the season started, we thoroughly enjoyed the Sacramento area. It's really, it's underrated, and we enjoyed it a ton. And obviously going through the season, having the year that we've had, and feeling the excitement, because you already knew the fans were passionate from back in the Arco days. You knew the game of basketball. They had a great feel for the game of basketball from back in the day. But to actually go through a season where we've had some success and be able to experience, their joy with them has been an unbelievable feeling for not only myself but my family too. And it's much appreciated that we're, able to be a part of this.
Ron Krejcik, San Francisco Chronicle. Hi, Mike. Curious, as you prepared for this, how do you prepare for a guy like Andrew Wiggins as you're doing the scouting? And for a guy who hasn't played in 2 months, do you prepare any differently? Do you expect him to be rusty, or do you expect him to be Andrew Wiggins that we all know? How does that sort of affect your mindset and preparation going in?
It doesn't. I mean, again, you're talking about a team that has, basically their whole team has championship experience, and so they know what it's like to go through anything and everything adversely at the highest level. And so, yes, he was out, but we're not going to expect him to be rusty. We're not going to expect anything less than what he's been bringing to the table when he's played this year, which is shooting the ball unbelievably well. We know how he helped us when I was with the Warriors last year. He helped us win a championship with his ability to offensive rebound and his ability to defend a lot of different players night in and night out. So, we expect him to come ready to play.
Anthony Stoddard with The Athletic. How up-tempo do you expect this series to be? I know obviously you want your offense to go up-tempo, but how concerned are you about, it getting real, wild out there?
I gotta give my man Ant Slater a shout out. He had a little son, AJ. I'm doing calm, and I hope you're feeling good at home. I had to give you a little shout out. What was your question?
How up-tempo do you expect this series to be, and how comfortable are you with that type of style?
We want to play fast. We don't know any other way, and obviously they like to play fast too, but they've been in all types of games, and so they can adjust a lot of different ways. But we feel our best chance is just to be who we are, and that's playing extremely fast. So we're gonna try to put our foot on the gas pedal and go, and hopefully it's faster in the playoffs than during the regular season. And that's yet to be seen. A team playing fast in the playoffs, because it just naturally seems to slow down because it's a more physical game, but we're gonna try to let it loose.
Jason Anderson, Sacramento Bee. You, earlier in the week, you guys had a team dinner. You mentioned that HB and Deli and Leandro addressed the team. I'm curious what the last 24 hours have been like. Have you been together as a team? Did you have dinner? Did anyone else, you or others, address the team about opening this series?
No, I mean, I had my car washed today. A buddy of mine came in from Cleveland and we chopped it up a little bit. We watched some of the games. We practiced yesterday, but I just had dinner at the house. Nothing really special, but those guys were really good at dressing the team because they all, obviously LB played too, so he has it from a player's perspective, and then he also coached, so he has it from a coaching perspective. So to be able to get that from him, to be able to get it from Deli, who obviously played with a completely different team and faced these guys back in the day, and then to get it from HB was a great, diverse group to hear from going into the playoffs. And for our team, any little bit helps.
Chris Peterman, Sacramento Bee. Just with the way series goes and the adjustments that can happen as the series progresses, given your familiarity with Steve and the coaching staff and the personnel, do you think you sort of have a head start on what those adjustments might look like as the series progresses, or does your familiarity help from that standpoint?
I don't think so. I mean, these guys know me too. I've been around them for 6 years, and so they know me just as well as I know them. And at the end of the day, really, in all the years I've been in the playoffs, every single time we faced somebody, no matter what team I was with, they knew us inside and out, and vice versa. So, I know that's been the talk because I was with them for 6 years. I know these guys, and I know all the tricks. I wish I did. These guys are good, and we're game planning and preparing like any other team that we would face, and we have to execute on both ends of the floor for as close to 48 minutes, and if we do, then we'll have a chance to win. If we don't, it's going to be tough, because they're a good team. You got to give them that they're the champs, and we got to go take it from them if we expect to move on.
Hey Mike, Tim Roy, Warriors Radio. How you doing? I wanted to know, you've had a lot of playoff experience. So where do you think you have grown from your first playoff experience as a coach to right now?
It's a great question. One of the things that I've taken a lot of stuff from everybody, from Bernie Bickerstaff to Tim Gergovich to Pop to Rick Carlisle, Steve Kerr, on and on in my journey during basketball. And one of the things that I learned from Pop that I don't know if I was really good at back in the day is, during the season, that's when you really, kick your teams behind if you're going to do it that way. And in the postseason, you got to kind of flip the switch. You've kind of learned everything that you should have learned during the regular season, and now you've got to encourage them and love them and all that other stuff because, you want to make sure that they believe, and not just for one game, but for the entire run, however long that run is. And part of that is making sure that you're not too tight. You got to have appropriate fear, but you don't want to be too tight because you don't want them to feel that at all. And so I going into this series, I feel pretty relaxed. I'm pretty conscious of what I feel like I need to do to help these guys, and we'll see if it can unfold that way.
All right, last one, Chris.
Hey Mike, Chris Tavares, Channel 40. Do you have win one for the Gipper speech, anything planned? What's your final message going to be to the team before they go out on the court?
I'm going to reiterate the same stuff that we've talked about. I just want them to understand how important that is, and the reality of it is, if you throw everything out the window but two things, we have to play with we have to play with a physicality on both ends of the floor, especially defensively. We got to hit first, second, third, and then we have to play with pace. Not just in the full court, but in the half court too. And we gotta try to do those two things for as close to 48 minutes as possible, and if we do, we'll give ourselves a chance.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all.